animals. Right? Um, and so we have this long list of words, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try to chunk it. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, whichever one, there was one where I really didn't get to like chunk it as much. We kind of just kept going. But this time I think we should be able to chunk it better. And then we'll do some like sentences that you can use with these animal signs. Okay. I do want to preface again before we start because I will leave it open for you guys to ask me any animals and signs that you see. Some animals may not have a sign here or at all. And then some may be different regionally in different areas. I always like to just emphasize that. And also, the more specific you are on an animal, I hate to say it, but the less likely it will have a sign. Okay. And the reason I say this, so if you start asking me what's like a really fancy bird, like a blue belly pincher, I don't know, something da da da. There is probably a good chance it may not, and you may not actually have a sign for itself, and you may have to finger spell. So I just always like to give that heads up beforehand because there have been times where people ask me about very specific animals, and I'm like, finger spell, finger spell, finger spell, and I can tell in their faces they're like, "There's nothing," and I'm like, "Yeah, there's nothing." So just a heads up. But all right.
What you saying, people, is learn how to finger spell.
Exactly, exactly. Know your finger spelling. I promise you, it'll help you in the end. Okay, so our first sign we're going to do is the sign for animal. So the sign for animal is you're going to have this kind of bent hand shape again, and you're going to put it not in your armpits, but like right above. Okay. And then you're going to make the motion like you're flapping your wings, animal. And you're not doing a full like arm flap, it's just like the hands flapping. Animal. And you go back and forth with this. So animal. Okay. Then we have the sign for pet. And so the sign for pet is your non-dominant is a fist. Your dominant is going to pet the back of it. Pet. Now this one is for both versions of the word pet. So like, oh, I want to pet the animal versus like, oh, I have this many pets. That is applied for both. Like I said, I think we've talked about, I'm trying to remember what other word we've done in the past. I had it and then it went away. There's one word we've done where the verb is different than the noun. And so that's why I wanted to clarify with pet, it is both. Okay. The first animal we're going to do is the sign for dog. Now, for dog, the way you do it is you pat your leg and come in a snap. Dog, dog, dog. There is a shorter version where I've seen people go dog. It's you're bouncing your middle finger on your thumb. Dog. Dog. But the like full formal is pat, snap, dog, dog. Okay. Then we have cat. Cat is going to be in this like 9 shape. You're going to start at the corner of your mouth and pull. Cat, cat. And this is like the whiskers of the cat. Cat, cat. Then we have, we'll do 2 more and then we'll go back. The next one we have is fish. So fish is going to be your there are 2 ways. I'll show you both. Okay. The first one is your dominant hand is sideways. Your non-dominant is a pointer. You're going to point at the base of your dominant hand and then bounce your hand as you go forwards. It's like the motion of a fish swimming. Fish, fish. Sometimes it will just do fish without the pointer hand. That's why I was saying there's one with both hands and there's one with one hand. Fish. This one is also one that can be used for, and we'll talk about this one next week when we talk about food as well again. That is for a pet fish and also for eating fish. It is used for both. So it is very important that you may want to clarify that you're talking about a pet fish. Instead of saying like I have fish, that may be I could see a confusion of, are you talking about dinner or are you talking about like animals that you have pets of? So Both are used. Okay. The next one we have is the sign for bird. And the sign for bird is going to be like our 20, but we're going to put our like knuckle on our nose. Bird. Bird. This is also for chicken as well. So almost all types of birds are going to be here, but chicken is also here as well. Okay. Ooh, nose. I have those allergies again. Sorry. It's pollen season is awful right now. So I feel like I'm going to be constantly rubbing my nose again. Okay. Let's go back. So we had animal, which was animal. Then we had pet, which was pet. Then dog, which was the pat, snap, dog, or dog, dog. Then we had cat, cat. And you do want to make sure, if you can, have your finger stick up just to show the whiskers, cat. And then we had fish, fish, or the one hand fish, and then bird, bird. Okay, so our next one we're gonna do is let me see, actually. I always like to add this one here.
Hey,
it's on our,
Gillian.
yes.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I didn't realize my video was off. The pointing at your hand is just to say, like, this is the sign.
It's, it's an interesting one because I've seen it both ways, talking about fish versus fish. I've not really seen the biggest of difference using them. I think it sometimes is almost a
Because
what you
aren't there other signs where you point?
trying to think. There definitely are, but I'm trying to think of an example of one right now.
I don't
Well,
know if I was thinking we had learned a couple of other ones and that it was just to be like to emphasize, this is the sign.
yeah.
But
I think
anyway.
I think with this one, it could also be, it is just a guiding point of the fish leading. I think it can also, to me, honestly, to me, what it looks like, which I think is interesting. I've not actually had this discussion with others before, but like fishing, when you go fishing, like you're reeling it in, like this is the reel. That's the visual it looks like to me. Does that mean that's actually what it means?
No,
No.
that's not what's happening because the fish is swimming that way.
It's
This
swimming
is the
away
fish's
from it. But if this was the hook, it's swimming
like
away
this
from
doesn't make sense. We'll revisit this later. Okay,
it.
sorry.
We're gonna have a big discussion about this. I can just see this now. I will ask someone for sure. I'll talk with them and see, because you're making me curious thinking about it more so. Okay. But what I was gonna say is it's on the other side of our list if you have the paper in front of you, the word duck. I'm gonna put it here because it is similar to bird, but it's still on our list. So duck is going to be, instead of the one finger like bird, it's gonna be the two fingers. So like our no, but you're gonna put it on your nose. Duck, duck. Okay, so duck. The next one we have is snake. Snake is, you're gonna start with a V, bend your fingers, go bring it to your mouth, and then you're gonna go snake, snake, snake. Then we have bug. So bug is gonna be the number 3. You're gonna put your thumb on your nose, and you're going to bend your pointer and your middle finger down. Bug, bug. And for this one, that one is, I've seen used most of the time for almost all types of bugs, pretty much insects. There's a few that have their own, and I have seen some people use individual signs for specific bugs. But for now, since it's starter basics, really, the generalized bug works and suffices. It also kind of depends on the person you talk to. Sometimes I've seen them a little bit different as well. But there are two we are going to talk about that I do see more often, their individual sign compared to the sign for bug. Okay. And so the first one is B. And so for B, it's like you're going to have a 9. It's like you poke your cheek and then you gently slap yourself. B, B. Do not go hard. It's just a little. And the visual with this one is like the bee, like this is the tail and it stings you and ow, it hurts. B, B. Okay. And then the next one is spider. So spider's a fun one. You're gonna have 2 5s. You're gonna put your non-dominant down and then your dominant on top of it and wiggle your fingers. Spider, spider, spider. I love this one. I don't know what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of spiders. I respect them and I'm like, you can stay in the house because you kill the other bugs, but I'm not a big fan of them. Like, just don't touch me, please. But I still think this is like the cutest thing ever. I love it. So spider. Okay. Oh, and you don't have to move it. I just do that for the flair of dramatics. You can't just sit here and do spider. I just like doing this because I don't know. I think it's fun. Okay. The next one we have is going to be, let's see, how many we done to? Okay, good. I just having to keep myself up. So the next one we have is a rat / mouse. And so that one is just, you're going to have your pointer finger and you're going to brush it across your nose. Mouse or rat. Okay. Now, I always add this one here. And if you've been able to look at the list before, you will see it. But if you were going to be talking about Mickey Mouse, I would recommend not finger spelling Mickey and then go mouse. Mickey Mouse does have its own sign, and it is Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. So it's like the ears. This is also for Disney, the whole Disney concept. And so, yeah, but I always think it's funny because I always think about how if someone was like, oh, well, Mickey Mouse. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, he's a mouse, but like, it's Mickey Mouse. There's a difference. So I always like to add that one here. Okay, let's go back. So we had duck, duck, duck. And for this one to be helpful, think about how a duck has a bit of a flatter bill than an actual bird where it's the beak kind of deal. And a duck has got a kind of flatter one. Just think like that. Duck. And then snake. So it's V, then snake. Bug, bug. Bee, bee. Spider, spider. And mouse / rat. Mouse. Mouse. Okay. Our next one is turtle. I love this one. You want to have your dominant hand in a thumbs up. Your non-dominant is in this kind of like C-ish kind of shape. You're going to bring your non-dominant hand behind your dominant, okay? And it goes right on top. And then you wiggle your little thumb. Turtle. And I love this one because it literally looks like a turtle in its shell. I think it is so cute. So turtle. Now, if you were talking about a sea turtle, you can also, you can do turtle. Like this one is like overall turtle. But if you wanted to do like a sea turtle, which they do look a little bit different, you can have your dominant and non-dominant hands in this shape. You're going to put them on top of each other and then move your hands. Sea turtle. And it's hard to tell from camera, but it does look like how a sea turtle looks when it's swimming and moving its legs or its arms. Sea turtle. The next one we have is tiger. So tiger is you're going to have these 5s slightly bent. You're going to bring them in front of your face and you're going to go tiger, tiger, tiger. And this is like representing the stripes. So tiger. The next one we have is lion. Lion is going to have kind of this open 5 with that slightly bent. And you're going to start here and you're going to shake your hand as you go back. And it's like you are representing all the hair of the mane. Lion. Lion. Even if you're talking about a female lion, like a lioness, you would just say girl lion or something like that. So you would still do the lion, even though I know lion, like female lions do not actually have the big mane. You would still do lion. Okay. Then the next one we have is bear. Bear is going to be again these fives. You're gonna cross your arms, and then you're gonna kind of like, it's like you're grabbing and pulling. Bear, bear, bear. Now, if you remember from when Miss Katie sent out the colors video, this is where you can apply those colors for sure, especially here. We do have some bears that we can see, especially when we're like going to the Tennessee Valley area. But like you can do black bears, brown bears. This is where you can add those colors in. So I always like to add this. I don't know what it is that every time I think about bears, I'm like, oh, I have to add the little thing about you can add the colors right here. Okay. Let's see, 2, 4. All right. Last one we'll do, and then we'll go back. The next one I have is cow. So cow is going to be 2 Y's. You're going to put them on the side of your head and go cow, cow, cow. Cow. You can do this one hand and go cow. You can. Like again, this is one of those where it's like, think about good morning. Good morning, good morning. That same concept. So cow, cow. Okay. So we had turtle. So we did turtle. Sea turtle. Tiger. Lion. Bear. And cow. Cow or cow. Okay. Let's go on to the next side. The next one we have is horse. So horse is going to be similar like we did to cow. We're going to have 3's, put them together, put them on the side of our head, and flap. And it's like the ears. So horse, but you can also just do one hand for a horse. All right. The next one we have is monkey. And so for monkey, you're just going to do monkey. I think this one, everyone kind of has a moment of where they're like, oh, thank goodness, this is one I already knew. Because this is like, even like hearing people who've never really seen sign, most of the time we do this when we're trying to imitate a monkey. So, monkey. We do also have gorilla, and gorilla is gorilla. So think King Kong, gorilla. All right. The next one is giraffe. So for giraffe, you're going to have this wide C. So it's not like a full down C, it's like wide. You're going to start at the base of your neck with your head kind of tilted up, and you're going to slide it up your neck and past your face. Giraffe. 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 Obviously, to represent the long neck. I think that's one of the things I like with animals is that a lot of them are kind of common sense where they make sense. You're like, oh yeah, that would make sense because that's the characteristic of a giraffe is its long neck, or stripes on the stripes of a tiger. It's things like that, which I think does help a lot when you're trying to learn animal signs. All right. The next one we have is elephant. And so elephant is going to, again, kind of this bent hand. You're going to have your knuckles be on your nose, and you're going to slide it down and out like the trunk. Elephant. 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 Good. Yes. Elephant. Okay. Let's see. Let's do 2 more and then we'll go back. The next one we have is pig. And so for pig, you're going to have the back of your hand go under your chin, and you're going to bend all 4 of your fingers. Pig. 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 Then we have zebra. So for zebra, you're going to have, you can do 4s or 5s. I was having to think for a minute. I typically do the 4s. That's why I took a minute. You're going to, it's going to put like, I put my dominant up top, my non-dominant down. You're going to go across and slide across. Zebra. Zebra. So it's like zigzag. You're just going stripe, making stripes across your shirt. Zebra. Zebra. Okay. So let's go back. We had horse. So horse, horse, or horse. Sorry, my dog's barked, and he was right under me when he was resting. I think he saw a car. Threw me off for a minute. Monkey, monkey. I don't know why my camera is so. Let's see if I can get it higher. Monkey, gorilla, gorilla, giraffe, giraffe, elephant, 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 and then pig, pig, and then zebra, zebra, zebra. Okay, let's see. We've got a few more here. I think we got 2 more group chunks, and then we'll do some sentences, and then I'll leave it open for questions or anything like that, or any other animals you can think of. Okay, so the next one we have is a frog / toad. And so that's going to be similar to our pig, where we're going to have it here, but you're going to be flicking your 2 fingers out. So frog, frog, frog. Then we have alligator. Alligator is going to be alligator. This one, I've seen people do it a little bit shorter, like smaller. So, especially if you're not one that wants to go huge on this, you can do a little bit smaller here, but most of the time it is kind of bigger. Then we have penguin, which it's hard to show, but basically you're gonna have, let's see if I can do this without making it. You're gonna have your hands sticking out down on the side, and then you keep pushing my chair back. You're gonna waddle, basically. That's how you do a penguin, is you waddle. I'm gonna put my arms up here, but you just stand and waddle. Hi, Henry. That's not, nope, stop. My dog thought that was playtime. Okay. Exactly. Yes. You're the first one that's ever stood up and done it with me. Most of the time people are like, got it, good, not moving. But okay. Then let's see. We did duck. Okay. So then we have butterfly, which is going to be butterfly. So it's like you have the 5s, put the thumbs together, and you find butterfly. Okay. Let's go back through those 4 real quick, and then we'll do the last few. All right. So we had frog, frog, alligator, alligator, penguin, penguin, butterfly, butterfly. Okay. So our next one we have is owl. Oh, I'm going to add another one here. Sorry, I just thought of another one that's really cute. I don't know why that hit me right as I said the word owl, but I was like, oh, I have one that we probably see more often and definitely could use. But so owl is going to be the 2 O's on your eyes, owl. Then we have wolf. So for wolf, you're going to start with this like kind of this open 5. You're going to bring it kind of towards your face. And what's really important is you're going to pull out from your nose. Wolf. Wolf. So you're accentuating that nose of the wolf. And the reason I really emphasize going out is because when you go down, this is sleep. Sleep. So going down in that same motion is sleep. But going out is wolf. And I always like to think, because wolves have longer noses than us, so I think that's always like my connection is like, think about that. Okay. The next one we have is deer, and that is deer. Now, funnily enough, we've always had this chalk every time, and I feel like it's thrown me off, honestly, with this sign. Is also the sign for moose, which is like moose, moose. So it's the same motion, but it goes out. And every time we talk about it, I genuinely like I sit there and I think about we've had active conversations about how this kind of looks like moose, while this looks like deer. Like this looks like deer, and it flip flops all the time. Um, I was gonna say if you did ever end up just doing this instead of deer, it wouldn't be the most confusing thing. I think if you fingerspell to add the word, that would work as well. I just always like to show deer, moose. Okay. And then fox. So for fox, you're going to have an F. You're going to put your nose here, and then you shake it in front of you. Fox. Fox. Okay. The other one I wanted to add was the sign for raccoon, because I think we have a lot of raccoons that we see. And I think it's important to know this one because it is also very cute. So it's going to be two peace signs. You're going to have them near your face, and you like close them, raccoon. And it's because of their like the dark eye, their fur, how it's dark over here. So raccoon, raccoon. I don't know why. I feel like we've done that one before in other classes, but we always slightly change our animals every year or every time. So
You know, I really don't think we've done raccoon before.
I was trying to remember because I was
I
like,
don't recognize, and it surprises me. We ought to make sure that we do trash animals, the squirrels, the raccoons, what else?
I was gonna say sometimes we've done squirrel because squirrel is it's like
That's
two,
right, with the nuts.
yeah,
Yeah,
squirrel. And it's like they're eating the nuts.
yeah.
Squirrel. We've done that one.
I'm gonna make a note that we're gonna add raccoon and squirrel because everybody in Alabama runs into raccoons and squirrels.
We deal with those. I'd be like, those are ones that we see on more often that definitely should know. But yes, because I was thinking about squirrel because like you can also use this for chipmunk as well. This one's kind of more that generalized squirrel, chipmunk, that sort of thing. Now, the last one I have right here, and then we will guess actually, yeah, go back some because we didn't review those. And then we can either go ahead and do some sign, like leave it open for any signs you guys have, or we could go on to phrases, whichever one we can do. We'll see. And I was going to say, when you were talking about baby animals, okay, what's really nice and helpful is that there's not a new sign for the word just because you're now talking about a puppy instead of a dog. All you would do is do baby dog. So baby dog. That is kind of how you can that's how that cannot talk. That's how you can talk about any kind of baby animals. You can also do like talking about their age. You could be like, I have a pet dog, and then be age 4 months, whichever, that sort of thing. Because that will also clearly tell them, oh, this is not a like adult dog. This is a baby, as well. And so I do think that's helpful because I know a lot of other languages will they have like a whole new word every time. And it's like, okay, I now have learned the word for dog, but now I need to learn the word for puppy. But yeah, not with this one. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to, so we had owl. So owl. Then we had wolf, wolf, wolf. Deer, deer. Moose, moose. Fox, fox. Raccoon. I literally was about to say trash panda. I was like, where am I coming with this? Raccoon. And then squirrel. Squirrel. So it's like the two V's and they're top. Yeah. Squirrel. And then our baby animals. Baby animals. Okay. So let's for right now, I think, because we made really good time, which was throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie. I was staring going, it's only 6:05. Wow, okay, we did real good time on this. I'm gonna go ahead and already leave it open for any animals you can think of or anything like that, and then we'll move on to the last part of the sentences. So you can either type it or say them, whichever way you want of any other animals you'd be curious how you would sign. And even if it is a specific one, you can also ask me how, and I can help you with how I would describe that animal.
Is there a sign for possum?
So that one I've seen, but I've also seen finger spelling. The one I've seen is like, I'm trying to remember how it was, because it's like it's hanging from the tree. And it was like, so it had the finger and the hook, and it was like you hang it down. The problem with this is this also looks like hook, like hanger. Because that's what that sign is. I typically will finger spell possum and then I add that motion sometimes. Now that's what I've seen in the past. Not seeing that one as often though, like I said, finger spelling most of the time. Any other animals you can think of? I'm trying to think of some more as well. Let's see. Oh.
I had another that I was curious
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
Is there one for daddy longlegs?
Okay,
No,
that's
I
a
don't.
good one.
That is
And
a
we
really
didn't
good
do
one.
like shark and
Oh no, we didn't do. We didn't do our water animals. Oh, okay. I was like, I really was thrown off over here. I was like, wow, this. I mean, the list doesn't look long, but I was like, why are we finished so early on
I
these?
might have left off a page. Like that might be what's going on. I don't know.
Well, and we've had to like kind of rearrange a lot of our stuff, so I could see like also just having that as well. For Daddy Long Legs, I would do spider because you don't want to technically. Here's the only problem that comes with if you did spider dad. Um, some people will probably understand you talk about daddy long legs. Someone is going to tease you and go, "Oh, so you know that's the dad spider, not the baby spider or the mom spider." I can see them teasing. And so I would probably finger spell. You could take the risk of doing spider and then going dad and then like making like long motion of legs, but I would probably just go with spider and then finger spell. Armadillo, I have not seen a sign for that one. I've seen more finger spelling, like I finger spell that one, but I can always check and see if there's any that I just didn't realize. I can look that one. I'll add that to my list. Let's see. If I don't add it to my list, I forget it. That's why I have to type it real quick. Okay. Um, okay, our water animals. That's right. Don't want to forget those because all we did was fish. Okay. So let's do, gotta keep myself in order now. We're gonna do now, the first one we're gonna do is the sign for shark. There are two ways you can sign shark. One of them is one I have to kind of give a little bit of a warning to, just to be careful about how you sign it. Okay. So I'm gonna show you the other one first, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay. So the first one for shark is you're gonna have your non-dominant kind of like in that Spock shape, where it's like your two fingers are together. Yeah. And you're gonna have your dominant in a B, and you're gonna stick it in there. So it's like there's the dorsal fin. Shark. Shark. The other one, and this one is more common, I will say this one, it is a B, and you come on your head up top and you tap, like right on top. You don't want, I really would want to avoid using your forehead as often. You want it up higher. And the reason for that is because this is a not nice word. Okay. Yeah. So you want to be careful and like, and sometimes I've seen even my students who are deaf and signing, they'll go, "Oh, I saw a shark." And I'm like, and it takes me a minute because I'm like, okay, you didn't say the bad word. You're saying shark as the animal. So I just always like to overemphasize and bring it up higher to show you're talking about a shark, just because you don't want to accidentally be saying a bad word. Okay. The next one we're going to do is the sign for whale. And so for whale, you're going to have your non-dominant arm out like this. Your dominant hand is going to be in a a Y shape. And you're going to stick it at your arm, like your what is this? What is the spot of the, I cannot think of here, this part, right? Your muscle. And you're going to make the motion of that tail slapping the water. Whale. I think this one's a really cool one. Whale. Whale. The next one we have is dolphin. Dolphin is going to have that same setup. And then there's like two or three different ways you can have your hands shape. Okay. So the first one is in that three together. So like the horse's hand shape. And you're going to start here and you're going to go dolphin. And again, I love the visual of this one because it is like making the motion of a dolphin shooting up in the water. Dolphin. The other one is having your fingers crossed. Okay. And doing the same thing. Dolphin. I typically do this one, but that one is not because it is better or whatnot. It is more so, it is a preference for me. So, dolphin. Let's see. I'm trying to think of there's some other water animals. For octopus, you're gonna have your like dominant as like cap. Yeah, had to think for a minute. And you go octopus. So it's like you have your fingers curled on top, and then you have the motion, octopus. Octopus. And then, let's see. There's one other one I was going to think of. That's a water animal. Is there any water animals you can think of? I'm trying to think of some right now. I'm drawing a blank.
What about jellyfish? Is there one for jellyfish?
Or squid?
There is one for squid. So squid is squid. It's like, hold on. I'm having to think because I'm thinking jellyfish, octopus, and squid. They're all very similar. That's why I'm like, I have got to separate these in my head. Squid is like this motion. Yes, squid. And then it's actually jellyfish. Hold on, I'm thinking of this. I think this is octopus, but I know jellyfish is also very similar. I'll need to check on that because those three are all very similar. And I have seen them kind of interchange before. Doesn't mean that was the right interchange, but they have been interchanged. But yeah, they're like all around here. Might have been jellyfish and then octopus. I'll check on those. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, now wait a minute, I might have done the wrong one, but I'll double check on them. Okay. Any other water animal signs you can think of? I love seeing like everyone's brain just trying. And I know, especially if everyone had spring break last week, you're coming back and you're like, okay, I've had to do schoolwork. Now I have to like use my brain again. I'm like, I feel that. I feel that. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We will just, if you think of any water animals later, let me know. Sorry, that was me saying let me know. But I did want to add a fun one. Oh, okay. So seahorse, funnily enough, before I used to not really see this one. This one could be it's probably more of a regional sign. I have not seen everyone sign it this way, but it is one I have seen kind of more so at my school for sure. And you got the thumb and pinky out and you go seahorse, seahorse, seahorse. Like I said, though, this one, I've seen it be seahorse, and then I've also seen people just fingerspell seahorse. So it might kind of depend on the area you're in. What I was going to say, the one I was going to add is the sign for dragon, which, we did dragon, didn't we? I might have, no, we haven't because we haven't talked about food yet. Oh, yay. Okay. So, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. So there is a sign for dragon, which I think is fun. There's not a lot of signs for a lot of the mythical creatures. but there are a few. Like I know dragon has one. I know unicorn has one as well. I'll show you guys both of those. So for dragon, you're going to have your fingers at the base of your mouth and you're going to go dragon. Dragon. So it's like the motion of your the flames coming out of the mouth. Dragon. Dragon. Mm-hmm. And then we also have unicorn. So unicorn, there have been I've seen a couple variations. The one I typically see is you have an R and then you have it pointing on your head. So it's like the twist of the horn on its head. Unicorn. Unicorn. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on to our sentences right now. If you do end up thinking of any other animals, signs, you can add them in the chat and then we'll come back to those. Okay. So the first time sentence we're going to do is the sentence for my favorite animal is. Okay. So there are kind of the two ways you can sign it, which I think I've talked about before, is one is more ASL grammarly correct. Another one is a little bit more that English C, but you would still be able to get your point across. Okay. So we have my, and then the sign for favorite is going to be your middle finger tapping your chin, favorite. And then animal. So you'd go, my favorite animal. And typically what a lot of people will do is they'll add the sign for what. So it's like you're saying, my favorite animal is what? This. And that's how they will start off like this way. So my favorite animal, what? And then cat, they'll sign it. Just go ahead and sign the animal. Okay, so my favorite animal, what? Cat. The other way you can do it is saying the animal and then wait, spell that again. I was like, oh, I know they're spelling an animal. And that was such a smart move and such a quiet move. And yet I was like, my brain was like, wait, I did not pay attention. Snail. Oh, it's like snail. I need to check on this. I'm trying to not blend snail, which was a fun little handshake I used to do with my friends when we were kids. But I know it's like something similar to that. If not, you can just fingerspell snail as well.
So for that, I was just doing like my favorite animal, what, and snail.
Oh, I thought you were trying to be like,
Ah.
and I was like, oh, you're spelling a word for me to catch. I was like, okay, I mean, fine, like, so you weren't interrupted, but I was just like, okay, that makes sense. Got it. I don't know. See, my favorite animal is a shark. I know I did a cat, but only reason I did that was because I was like, it always throws people when I say my favorite animal. What? And then I go shark, and they're like, wait, I was expecting a cat or a dog or a fish or something like that. And I'm like, nope, it's a little different. But I should have known better. But so, oh, that's cool. Okay. So we had my favorite animal. The other way I was going to say, the more ASL way you can also do it is where you would say that animal first. So shark, my favorite. So, and sometimes you don't even have to say favorite animal. You can just say shark, that's my favorite. Okay. The next sentence is going to be allergic. I am allergic. This is definitely important for if you're allergic to fish. And we'll talk more about this one later in food, like next week as well. So the sign for allergic is going to be, you're going to kind of point at your nose and then go opposite. So it's like my non-dominant pointer finger is near my nose. My dominant is away from it, but still touching, and then pulls away. Opposite. Or allergic, sorry, allergic. 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 And the reason I keep saying opposite is because this is opposite. So that's why I'm like voicing opposite, because I'm like, well, I'm making the motion of opposite, but it's allergic. Allergic. So if you're allergic to cats, you would be like, me allergic cats. And again, you can also do cats, me allergic. Like I can't have them. Cats, me Allergic. Okay. The next one is the sign for like or sentence for I like I like dogs or I don't like dogs. Okay. So the sign for like is you're going to have your middle and your thumb touching your chest and you're going to pull it like until where they come together. Like. Like. Now, what's really nice about this is that if you want to say don't like, there are two ways, but one of them is you do like and then throw it away. Don't like, don't like, don't like. So, if you're saying, I don't even know an animal that I don't like enough. Don't like snakes. I was having to think of one. I was like, there's not many animals where I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. So don't like. The other way is doing the sign for not, which I know we haven't done, and I'm about to give it to you because this one is a good one to know. And so the sign for not is you're going to have a thumbs up and you're going to put your thumb under your chin and bring it up. Not. So not like, don't like, not like. This one is really helpful. And the reason I say that is because, for example, I'm going to use the fancy word prefixes. Like I talked about, when we had the suffixes of words for like time related stuff, that ed, like finished, things like that. This one can replace that un. So, or like I'm not working, unavailable, not available, anything like that. This can kind of do the not. Oh, are you working today? Not working, that sort of thing. So that one's a good one to know. Okay. So the sentence you can do, so the sentencing with that is you would say the animal. So snakes don't like. Snakes don't like. And it's really important when you are signing these sentences, is you want to kind of make sure your facial expressions do show what's your preference. So like if I'm not going to say like snakes, I don't like them. That looks very sarcastic. So you do want to kind of, just be self-aware of your facial expressions. Okay. The next one we have is need. And so this one, don't need. Need is going to be like an X. I said a hook, but an X. And you're going to tap it. Need. Need. And so if you wanted to say don't need, you just go don't need. And you don't even have to really tap it multiple times. You can just go floop, need, don't need. Okay. So if you were saying you don't need dogs, you just say dogs don't need. Okay. Then our next one is want. Okay, like I want something. And so for this one, you're going to have 2 5s, palms up and kind of away from you. And you're going to bend them as you bring them towards you. Want. I always think about how a little kid, when they're like, gimme, and they're like grabby hands, like bringing their fingers in. It's like that. So want. If you wanted to say don't want, or don't want. It's similar to how we did don't like. So you're going to bring it in and then throw it down. Don't want. Don't want. Don't want. This one's also where you can do don't want as well. Don't want. Okay. And then our last two is the sign for more or less. More and less. Okay. So more is going to be two kind of circles, kind of flat O's, and you just tap them together. More. And then the sign for less is your non-dominant palm up. Your dominant is going to start higher up and you're going to bring it down. Less. Less. Okay. Let's actually go back to those key words we did, like allergic, like, need, want, more, less. Just to kind of go over those again, because I know that was a lot more words adding to our sentences. So let's practice and review those real quick. So we had allergic. So it's like you start at your nose and pull it away. Allergic. Allergic. Like. Don't like. Pull. Like not. Like not. And then we had need. Or don't need, so not need. Then we had want, and then don't want. Then more, and less. Okay. Are there any questions you guys have? I know it's been a good amount of different animals, different signs. Like I said, I think what helps a lot is a lot of the animals are very easier to kind of think about because they make a lot of sense, at least to me.
So this isn't exactly a question. There's just a little story that I wanted to share related to animals. So last night I was taking a bath. I saw in the corner by the bath a little spider that was just hanging out. And after the bath, I kind of gotten used to him and started liking him. So I named him Mr. Longlegs, who lives in the corner.
Oh, I love that. I also name my bugs. I have a spider in my front of my house, and I call him Martin. And I say there, "Hello, Martin. Please get all the bugs." I do that. I do name my bugs, especially if I'm like, if they're spiders, I'm like,
That's so
"Hello."
cute.
Yeah, I'm like, if I give you a name, then you live here with me. We cohabitate, and it's okay. But yeah, Martin's got a little web in the very corner, and I'm like, "You're catching bugs. I'm okay with it, Martin. We're good." I literally named him last night too because I didn't notice him until yesterday, and I was like,
Martin is up there going, "Stay over there, human."
he's like, "Please don't come near." Well, especially because I couldn't figure out what it was in the top corner because my house, like right up here, goes really pointed up on the other side, and I was like, "What is that?" And I'm too short, so I had to get my like chair. So I'm like lugging this across the room, and I get up on my chair, and then I'm like having my phone light all up in Martin's space, like. I'm like, "Oh, it's a spider web," and this tiny little spider, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I backed up. And I was like, "Your name
You
is
just
now Martin."
invaded.
Yes, but I was like, "Your name is Martin, and I'm leaving you alone," and I've left him alone since. But yeah, it's fun to name animals. Can't help it. They're always fun. So I love that. I know some people actually give their pets and animals name signs. And I think that is the cutest thing in the world. I've even joked about how I was like to some of my coworkers, I'm like, "I need you to meet my dogs so you can give them name signs, please. Because their names are too common. I need a name sign. I need a name sign when I'm talking about them. I just need one." We've joked about it and we've always laughed. We think it's funny. So I think it's cool. And especially asking them, why is that name sign related to your dog or your cat? And yeah, they're always fun to talk about. I think they're cute. So, any other questions or comments or anything curious? And it doesn't have to be related to animals. It could be kind of just a general question or anything like that.
So what was the kind of face thing that you mentioned with sarcasm earlier?
So what I was talking about is how sometimes when, like I think we've talked about it before. So your facial expressions, this is the sign for it, like kind of how you express yourself, because it's talking about like your eyebrows going up and down, are very important to ASL and deaf culture. It is not like, I know some people can be very straight faced. That's fine. That's not a problem. It can be a bit challenging in ASL. And the reason for that is because in ASL, excuse me, facial expressions is like the tone. So always think about, like, when you're talking to someone and you're telling them, like, oh, I'm so happy to see you today. And if you just say, I'm so happy to see you today, very straight, like, tone, and it can almost come off like we're being sarcastic. Like, I'm very happy to see you today. Or like, it doesn't mean like a happy, it means like, we need to sit down and have a talk, that kind of thing. It kind of changes the, like, situation of that sentence. It's the same thing in ASL. So if I were to see you and I went, you like, I'm so happy to see you, like, oh, with a big smile, okay, I'm actually being happy. But if I said, like, I'm just happy to see you, very straight faced, that is basically the same thing as saying, I'm very happy to see you today. That's like my best comparison. It's just think like that. And so I tell people, because I know not everyone's got the same sort of, like, showing on their face as everyone does, but just be like, and you don't have to try to overreact. Like, I know I have a lot of facial expressions. You will see every thought I'm feeling, thought and opinion and everything on my face. Like, it's not one of those, I don't hide it. And so I know some people don't do that. And I would just be a little bit more self-aware, and you don't have to be big, but if you're like talking about being like, I'm happy to see someone, I would try to be thinking about like letting your, showing a nice little smile, like a little smile or something, like show like you're actually being sincere. Like, I'm happy to see you. Versus being kind of like frowning and like that. So that's what I was talking about when I said the facial expressions, because it can look like it's conflicting. It doesn't look like it matches your feeling. And that's where, like, sarcasm kind of comes in. So being sarcastic, looking in that. But yeah. Any other questions? All righty. Next week, we're going to do food. So I'm going to recommend now, eat a snack before we start. You will be hungry by the end of the class. I'm always starving afterwards. I always like to give everyone a fair warning. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of y'all's week. And I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.